peace, love and care presenting Golden Dragon and the Heavenly Buffet. Once upon a time, a baby golden dragon was born in nature. He had smooth, soft skin that glowed and looked like the sunlight. Like all baby dragons, this dragon was curious. He loved to play, explore, and eat. The baby golden dragon played and explored everywhere. The baby golden dragon loved to play in the forests. He loved flying and climbing through the lush green grass and trees. The baby golden dragon loved to swim in the rivers and lakes. He loved feeling the crisp, cool water flowing across his smooth, golden skin. The baby golden dragon loved to play in the ocean, diving deep down, 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 and then up, 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 up to the surface. Again and again. The baby golden dragon loved to climb the mountains. He loved to look at the world from the mountain tops. The baby golden dragon loved to fly high up in the sky. He loved swirling and flying through the clouds, amazing himself with just how high he could fly. The baby golden dragon loved to play and explore. As he grew, he explored more and more. He explored farther and farther across the world from where he was born. The baby golden dragon loved life and he could never get enough playing and exploring and during each day. The more the baby golden dragon explored, the more he grew. The more the baby golden dragon grew, the newer scales grew on his smooth, golden skin. Food, food, food and more food. The baby golden dragon looked closely at his arms and ran his hands over the new scales growing there. The new scales on his arms did not bother him because he was busy playing and exploring everywhere. What the baby golden dragon loved to do the most was eat. He loved to eat all kinds of food and drink. He loved pizza. He loved tacos. He loved soup. The baby golden dragon loved broccoli and cauliflower. They reminded him of the beautiful trees in the forest. He loved carrots. They were orange and made a wonderful crunchy sound when he chewed them with his big, strong teeth. He also loved potatoes and gobbled them up by the bushel full. The baby golden dragon loved spinach, wheatgrass, and kale too. They reminded him of the soft, green grass he felt under his feet as he walked across the earth. The baby golden dragon loved grapes. Green grapes, purple grapes, black grapes, he loved them all. He also loved tomatoes and searched for bigger and bigger tomatoes to eat everywhere he went. He constantly played with the grapes, tomatoes, and vegetables, seeing how high he could throw them into the air. Then he would catch the tomatoes, grapes, and vegetables in his mouth as they fell from the air. He loved popping them and smiling with a glee as the tasty, smooth juice filled his mouth and belly. Yes, the baby golden dragon loved wheat. And he ate everything everywhere. As the baby golden dragon ate and grew bigger, he noticed even more scales growing on his skin. He bent over and softly touched the new scales that were now on both his arms and his legs. I wonder why I have more scales on my skin now, the golden dragon wondered out loud. The baby golden dragon looked down at himself and saw that he was no longer a baby. As the golden dragon grew bigger, he noticed that he was now hungry for more than just food. One day, after eating a plate full of juicy, red tomatoes, the golden dragon became curious. Wow, I ate a lot today. And I ate a lot yesterday and the day before that too. Why do I still feel so hungry? The golden dragon asked himself. The golden dragon thought long and hard about this as he flew through the sky. He flew circles around the clouds. I got it, said the golden dragon, as he suddenly stopped in midair and sat on a cloud. I want more than just food. I want to know how life works. I want to know why I was born. Why am I here? How did I get here? Asked the golden dragon. As the golden dragon softly rubbed his belly, he noticed that new scales had grown there too. Amazing, said the golden dragon. Now I have scales on my arms, my legs, and my belly. I have scales almost everywhere. The golden dragon realized he was still hungry. What can I do to not feel so hungry in my belly? The golden dragon asked himself. Maybe if I fly farther than I ever have before, I will not feel so hungry, said the golden dragon. Or maybe if I swim down deeper than I ever have before, I will feel so hungry. Maybe if I eat more than ever, I will find the answers to my questions, said the golden dragon. And so, the golden dragon took off to go fly, play, and eat more than he ever had before. He tried all kinds of food in all different kinds of places in the world. The golden dragon left Asia and flew to Europe. Then he stopped by Italy and ate some spaghetti. He loved wrapping the long noodles around his fingers as he ate. Then, with one giant leap, the golden dragon jumped to the top of the highest mountain in around France. While there he ate a ton of grapes. The golden dragon dived from the mountaintop down to the deepest part of the Atlantic Ocean and then swam swift as a shark to Africa. When he reached the edge of Africa, the golden dragon used his powerful legs and leapt like a frog into the air. He opened his long, golden wings and flew off into the sky towards the United States. I love flying. This is the best day ever, said the golden dragon to the clouds as he flew by, gazing into the pond. The golden dragon arrived at the United States. He flew down from the sky and landed in the lush green forest. The entire earth shook as his feet touched the ground. I feel like a nice long walk, said the golden dragon. And walk he did. The golden dragon walked. The golden dragon was perplexed. I still have questions. I have eaten everything I could find. I have played everywhere across this beautiful earth, said the golden dragon to himself. But I am still hungry. I still have questions. Why am I here? What is my life all about? Just then, the golden dragon came to a big, beautiful, blue, flowing pond of water. The golden dragon took a moment to look around him. He saw tall, green grass and beautiful flowers around the pond. He saw huge mountains with snow on the tops farther off in the distance. What a pretty place this is, said the golden dragon. The golden dragon walked to the edge of the pond. He put his foot into the pond and swished his toes around in the water. The water tickled his toes and the golden dragon laughed out loud. It sounded like thunder. The golden dragon leaned over and looked at his reflection in the pond of water and smiled at himself. I am beautiful, said the golden dragon. Scales and all, I am beautiful inside and out. Then the golden dragon looked down at himself and moved his hand in a circle, feeling his belly. Wow, said the golden dragon. My belly is big and round. I know my belly is full of food, but it still feels empty. Why am I still hungry? Said the golden dragon, scratching his head. At that moment, the golden dragon realized something important. The golden dragon realized he was hungry for more than just food. I've been looking around everywhere for answers to my questions, but I am still hungry for answers. I think I need more than play, fun and food to make my belly feel good and truly full again, thought the golden dragon. The golden dragon realized he was hungry for more understanding about life and the world. He was hungry for more understanding about everything around him. I am so tired from all the playing and exploring and flying and eating I've done today. Maybe I will stop and lay down for just a moment. This pond is a great place to take a nap, said the golden dragon. So, the golden dragon laid down on his belly by the edge of the pond, stretched out his arms and put his head on his hands and watched the beautiful, blue water flowing in the pond. The golden dragon began to fall asleep. His eyes grew smaller and smaller. His vision grew dimmer and dimmer. Then just as Golden Dragon's eyes were about to close completely, something caught his eye. He saw something he had never, ever seen before. It was a spark of light in the pool of water. "What is that?" cried the Golden Dragon, as both of his big eyes opened wide. The Golden Dragon sat up, stretched his long neck, and moved his head closer to the water to get a better view. A circular, golden object glimmered and shimmered in the water. This golden object was even brighter than the sun. The circular object grew bigger and bigger in the water. The Golden Dragon noticed that the golden object had many colored objects within it, and these objects flew out of the main golden object in all directions. As the Golden Dragon focused his eyes on the golden object, watched all the colored, circular objects flying out of it, he noticed they all looked like plates, with the golden plate being the biggest plate of all. The Golden Dragon loved looking at all the different colored plates floating and shimmering in the water. Some were sparkling gold plates. Some of the plates were a radiant red. Some of the plates were a bright yellow. Some of the plates were pink. Some of the plates were blue, and some of the plates were even purple. The harder the Golden Dragon looked at plates, the clearer the plates became. Suddenly, the Golden Dragon realized, these are the same kind of plates I have eaten on all my life. The Golden Dragon laid by the pond of water looking at the floating plates for a long time. He forgot that he was tired. He forgot that he had questions. Time stood still. The Golden Dragon forgot how long he had even been there by the pond. The only thing the Golden Dragon wanted to do was watch the pool of water filled with the radiant, floating, beautifully colored plates. They reminded him of all the wonderful plates of food he had eaten his entire life. The chef of sorts. Suddenly, the Golden Dragon noticed something in the water had changed. The Golden Dragon stood up to get a better view of what was happening in the pond. The Golden Dragon could not believe his eyes. He watched as the biggest golden plate in the pond changed from a plate back into a big, bright, sparkling, golden ball of light. The big golden ball of light floated from underneath the water to the top of the water and then came up out of the water. The golden light stood still in the air for a few moments and then began to slowly float towards Golden Dragon standing on the edge of the pond. Golden Dragon had been all over the world and had seen many new and amazing things. So, he was very curious and was not afraid of the bright golden light moving towards him. The Golden Dragon's eyes kept darting back and forth between the golden light and the sparkling plates in the water. The Golden Dragon looked up and asked the golden light, "Who are you?" An answer came from the golden light saying, "I am no one. I am everyone." The voice from the big, bright golden light asked Golden Dragon, "Are you hungry?" The Golden Dragon took some time to answer. "I am not as hungry as I was before. But yes, I am still hungry," said the Golden Dragon. The Golden Dragon looked from the golden light to the sparkling plates in the pond. The gold light said, "I am a creator of many plates. I am like a chef of sorts. In fact, you could say that I am the cook of the great food on many plates. Some people like to call me the glory of design because of all the plates of food that I have created. So, you can call me chef if you would like," said the bright light. Yes, that feels right. I will call you chef, said the golden dragon. What a heavenly buffet! Then, the golden dragon's eyes lit up. He moved his gaze from the pond to the chef. The golden dragon asked the chef, "How long have you been here?" The chef replied, "I have been here the whole time." Suddenly, a golden mist appeared swirling in the air all around the golden dragon. The golden dragon closed his eyes for a few moments. When he opened them again, he saw before him the biggest buffet of food he had ever seen in one place. The buffet of food laid out before him by the edge of the pond was so big that the golden dragon could not see where it began or where it ended. It even extended over the mountaintop. Golden dragon saw in the distance. "Are you hungry?" the chef asked. The golden dragon looked at all the food laid out around him. It smelled wonderful and his eyes gleamed as he looked at all the beautiful colors in the buffet. "Yes, I am hungry. I think I will eat," said the golden dragon. "There are so many kinds of food here. I can't wait to try everything." The golden dragon ate and ate and ate. He tried some of all the different kinds of food in the buffet. Soon the golden dragon turned to the chef and spoke. "All of this food is heavenly. Thank you." "Yes, it certainly is a heavenly buffet," said the chef. The golden dragon touched his finger to his chin and said, "This all seems familiar." The golden dragon looked at the chef, who was now holding an exceptionally large golden plate. He noticed that there were pieces of paper with writing on them lying on the plate. "This golden platter contains all the recipes for all of the food in the heavenly buffet," said the chef. "Wow, that's a lot of recipes," said the golden dragon. He raised his head to follow the pile of paper into the sky. "The pile of recipes is so high I can't see where it ends. The pile even goes past the clouds." "Please open your hands," asked the chef. The golden dragon held out his hands with the palms up, and the chef lovingly placed the golden platter and recipes into his hands. The golden dragon felt something odd as soon as the golden platter touched his hands. He felt a wonderful tingling all over his body. He felt tingling on his scales and in his belly. The golden dragon suddenly looked at the chef and said, "I remember now. I remember this golden platter from before I was first born in nature. I remember you now too, chef. I remember you were on my mind the very first time. I remember you handed this golden platter to me and you said." "Yes," said the chef. "Back then, I said to you, I know that you love food, golden dragon. So, I give you all these recipes on a golden platter. I give you all this food on a golden platter. I give you all these experiences on a golden platter. I give you all this life on a golden platter. Did you know that I tried all of these recipes myself before I gave this golden platter to you?" said the chef. The golden dragon did not answer. He was busy feeling the wonderful tingling all over his body. Then the golden dragon said, "I remember now. I accepted the golden platter freely and I accepted everything that went with all the recipes on the platter. I was excited and looked forward to exploring them. But after I was born and as I grew up, I became so focused on all the food from the recipes that I forgot where it came from. I forgot where I came from." The golden dragon looked around himself and noticed that many of the sparkling plates that were in the water were now hovering above the water. They were now floating and sparkling in the air all around him. "Yes, I remember now that I have eaten all these meals many, many times. I loved them all," said the golden dragon. The chef said, "In your many travels across the world, Have you ever emptied the platter you were eating off of and then turned it over to see what was on the other side of it? The golden dragon laughed and said, "No way, I was always just focused on all the food that was on top of the platter. I love to eat. I would like to see what is on the bottom of this golden platter. But I cannot because of all the recipes on top. What should I do?" asked the golden dragon. Before the chef could answer, the golden dragon said, "I know just what to do." The golden dragon then took the biggest breath that he had ever taken in his life. He felt the air flowing all the way into the bottom of his belly. After that, the golden dragon held the air in his belly for just a few moments. Then the golden dragon released the largest breath of all time. The golden dragon's breath blew all the recipes off the golden platter. The recipes flew from the golden platter and went flying, twirling, and swirling in the wind. Some of the recipes landed on the heavenly buffet and became part of the food. Some of the recipes floated into the pond and disappeared in the water. The golden dragon had excellent eyesight. He saw that some of the recipes flew up into the mountains. He saw many of the recipes floated up into the beautiful blue sky and disappeared in the clouds. The golden dragon's breath was so strong and so big that when he blew the recipes off the platter, they flew across the entire world. The golden dragon looked down at the empty golden platter in his hands. He saw that it was now shining and sparkling in the sunlight. The golden platter shone as brightly as the golden dragon's skin when he was first born. The golden dragon felt another strange tingling feeling in his belly. The golden dragon turned over the golden platter for the very first time and saw the following words written on the bottom. "All is created and given to you freely, for you to explore and experience it as you choose." The golden dragon reflected on the message on the bottom of the golden platter for a long time. Then his eyes filled with tears of joy. Suddenly, the golden dragon felt at peace. The golden dragon put his hands on his big, round belly and noticed that it finally felt full. He felt as if he had just eaten the biggest meal of his entire life. The golden dragon was no longer tired. He was at peace. He now had answers to every question he had ever asked. "Now I know why I am here," said the golden dragon. "Now I know what life all is about. Now I know why I was born." At that moment, and all sudden, the golden dragon's scales started to melt. All the scales fused together, one with the other. The golden dragon looked down at himself and noticed that he was as smooth and shiny and bright as when he was first born in nature. His skin was shining brighter than it ever had before. The golden dragon walked over to the pond and looked at his reflection in the water and smiled. "I am beautiful, inside and out," said the golden dragon to himself and the chef. From that day on, the golden dragon was as clear and as bright and as sparkling as the golden platter. He was brighter than even the sun. The golden dragon carried the golden platter with him everywhere. He even decided to open a restaurant. In that restaurant, every day, 24 hours a day, the golden dragon offered the heavenly buffet to all. The golden dragon calls this restaurant the Heavenly Buffet.